Public schools are required to educate children with disabilities. So it's mandated by law. It started with the Education for All Handicapped Children Act in 1975. My research showed that 85% of all private schools are actually faith-based, which is a pretty high number. And they are not required to educate children with disabilities. Not because they don't want to, but they don't have the resources or the expertise to do so. So as a result, children who attend private schools of faith are largely homogenous in their populations and ability level. So how do you think that this could be changed?
Well, I think the role that Best Buddies can play is to continue to try to push hard to have Best Buddies chapters in these faith-based schools and in religious institutions, and as teachers, as the pastors of the schools or the archdiocese itself or the archbishop or a cardinal begins to see the way that the students who aren't disabled or in a school thrive through interaction with and connection with people with special needs. I think that's a good first step, and I think it can, again, motivates them, and they see that the student population is enriched by having these people on the campus or developing relationships for people without special needs. I think is a good first step. I think, again, it comes back to so many of the things, even the 1975 piece of legislation, really a lot of that, and I hate to always throw it back, but a lot of that came from the push and the desire and the passion and the unrelenting effort of parents. And I think parents, and as I always say this, I'm not just saying it because you're here, they are, by a long shot, sort of my heroes. The parents of people with intellectual disabilities or special needs, they fight this fight, 365 days a year, 7 days a week, all day, all night. And it's not something where, you hope your kid graduates from college and then you're sort of, quote, done, even though you're never really done, but you're done in a certain way. Parents or people with special needs are never done, in my judgment, and it's a lifetime commitment to your son or daughter in a way that is very, very different and than something that I would have to do. So I hate to give them another job, but I think the harder that they push, the harder that leading Catholics, I'm a Catholic, so just talking about Catholicism for the moment, leading Catholics push the Archbishop or push the Cardinal. I think they'll be more responsive. The more that they have children with special needs and they want them to be in a faith-based school, I think that will push the schools. I hate to go back to money, but money also obviously plays a huge role. So the more that Catholic leaders or Jewish leaders or Muslim leaders or leaders of any Christian denomination push hard, who are successful and financially invested in those institutions, I hate to say it, but again, very often, people respond to money. So if you're about to build a wing, but you want to have, a couple kids with special needs in the school, or you want to help build a classroom, and you want to raise $2 million to build the classrooms, and you say, listen, as a part of the plan, we want to have, one kid or two kids with special needs in our classrooms, and part of the plan will be we'll have an assistant teacher in there to help deal with any additional work or challenges that may go along with the kid with special needs being in the school. I think that's what it's going to take, and I think, there are leading Catholics out there and people that have huge influence over the church, and I think it just takes a few to get going, and I know there's a few, but not enough. Right. But the more that we can promote the ones that are successful and the impact that having those kids in those schools is having on the overall student population, I think that's really effective and helpful. So I think it's a multi-tiered thing. I think you got to get parents engaged, you got to get people who have huge financial resources engaged and push the envelope. And the more that we can celebrate the success we're having with this few schools that are doing it today, so that we can spread the good news that, wow, this has happened in this school, in this city or this district, and here are the benefits. We did a survey, and here are the things that the kids said after you had a kid with Down syndrome, a kid with special needs in the school. I think that's a powerful messaging for the higher ups in the Catholic Church. And I think, I hate to go so far up, but I think this Pope is really special and different. And I think he's really open to doing the right thing, and he's very inclusive, and I think he really believes strongly in the whole concept, as Cardinal Wuerl said, is strength in diversity. And I've always believed that, and love having a very diverse network of friends myself, and I think people with intellectual disabilities add enormous diversity to anywhere you go, and I think it creates strength and power, and creates more stable people and calmer people and more compassionate people, more patient children, and children that have more respect and admiration and appreciation for everything that they've got in their life.